Peter, baseball is going to have to reconsider. One thing they're going to have to reconsider in this new world of interleague play, which I detest, is if you're going to play teams in cold weather sites, it can't be that teams only trip in April. They're going to have to rearrange that.
It's all over the place. I mean, they had Texas playing in Chicago, and they can't come back. So, cold, freezing rain, snow.
The Mets have had 3 of those already. The Yankees have had them. I mean, one trip to Colorado can't be in April. One trip to Minnesota can't be in April. I mean, you're going to have these teams jetting back all over the country all year.
Absolutely. I mean, the Red Sox have had that. I mean, they had it. They face it right now with Oakland in town. I mean, normally they would never play tonight. I mean, it's raining. It feels as if it's about 20 degrees. But, the choice is, all right, you play tonight and tomorrow, you play in the rain, or you play a doubleheader. But you can't play a day-night doubleheader because it's a getaway day. They're playing a 4 o'clock game anyway. So they have no idea, really. I mean, there isn't a lot of choice, and Oakland can't come back. So, no, it's how the schedule is made up is befuddling, and I realize this, there's a little bit of an aberration because it's one of the coldest springs. But at the same time, there are a lot of domes. I mean, have the teams with domes and so forth, have them have more games in April and play more games in other sides. I know they tried it about 20 years ago, and a lot of northern teams complained because they said, well, they weren't getting their home openers in time. Well, you know what? You're just going to have to get around that. So you have your home opener 10 days into the season. It's better than having a whole bunch of freeze-outs, which might either blow your pitching out in April or it could more likely blow your pitching out in August.
No question. And, talking about that, a lot this year was, one of the early storylines of this season was how strong L.A. was going to be in terms of both teams, and Dodgers are in town here, and the Angels just coming off a 3-game winning streak to get them to 7-10. Both teams off to very slow starts.
They have been. I mean, the Dodgers have had a lot of injuries, and I understand. Everybody was complaining about having too many pitchers. They end up pitching basically a double-A retread, Stephen Fife,
which is always the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. And we're going to see how that team sort of fits together. I mean, I think that they went out and made the deal with Boston, and they got some stars, but that doesn't leave Ned Colletti a lot of room to put a roster together. So I don't know if they're going to be able to do it during the season. There isn't a lot left in the minor leagues. They traded the best prospect in the organization, the Red Sox. So how they fit together, and the Angels, that Artie Moreno's, I think that whole thing about, okay, we have to compete with the Dodgers now for stars, so we're going to get another star in Josh Hamilton and ignore the pitching. And, they have a few guys that might throw some innings, but after Weaver, whose velocity is way down, they don't exactly have a lot of second and third starters. And
you wonder if that's really for the second straight year, that really isn't a Socia type of team. I mean, Socia's teams that were so successful year after year went first to third. They fielded, they hit tall fields, they ran the bases, they played little ball. They weren't a team of thumpers sitting there waiting to hit 3-run home runs. This is not what you think of when you think of like vintage Mike Socia baseball. This is not Mike Socia baseball.
Not at all. And at best, mediocre starting pitching, which they were in a stretch of, I think it was 11 games, and their starting pitchers got a total of 1 out in 7th inning. And, of course, they've already got 2 of their key relievers hurt. So it's, that's a tough hole to climb out of. And it's sometimes you kind of say it, we see it in every sport. Sometimes maybe the baseball people should be consulted more than just the owner's whims in the marketing department. And I think we've seen that. We've seen it in Los Angeles. Hey, it's great for baseball to have the 2 teams in Los Angeles be marquee events. But at the same time, how much sense really went into it? I mean, we'll see. It's fascinating to see how that evolves. And I don't know. I mean, I think the Angels can come back. I think the Dodgers can come back, but it won't be as easy as they all thought. And you contrast the Dodgers with now the star-driven, you get Carl Crawford and Adrian Gonzalez and Hanley Ramirez and so forth. And you contrast them to the Giants, who, other than Buster Posey, basically are a bunch of guys that play the game right. We watched them last year in the postseason. Their pitchers execute bunts. Pitchers execute hit and runs. They make the double cut, the great relay, which threw outfielder at the plate, which really was the biggest play in that World Series. They do all those things right, and it's not about stars. It's about playing the game right.